What's up, everybody? This is a really quick video. I wanted to make this because this is a problem I run into. I wanted to do in Houdini some vellum grains, and I only wanted part of them to simulate, only a little bit of them to fall down, or if an object touches them and the other ones stay normal. Every time I looked this up on YouTube, I've only seen the way to do it is by using some attribute wrangles and writing some code and basically saying activate, win this. I'm going to show you a way to do it that hopefully will save you some time. So let's jump into Houdini. All right, so we can see that first we start with a sphere, very normal. And then we have the grains. So far we're good, okay? We feed the grains into the vellum constraints grain. Good, so we're still good. Then we have the vellum solver. And I have the collisions piped in here, and I have just a box, and I moved it up, and I animated it. Okay, so we're all still good. Then what I did is I used a VDB from polygons. This will create the VDB version of the cube, as you can see, and I put a null at the end. The nulls are nice just because they help you find things faster when you need to find them and use them. But we'll come back to this. So this is piped into our vellum solver. I'm going to make some room so you can see some of the attributes within here. Now, we're going to get into sleeping. I'm going to turn this off for now, and we're going to hit play, and you'll see it just falls. Okay, nothing too crazy. This sleep is where you're going to find how to activate this thing. And I'm going to show you how this is being activated. You can see right now when the cube touches it, those are being activated. And I'm not using any attribute wrangles to be like, turn it on or whatever. So first turn on the auto sleep. Okay. Go into, that's right. You're going to double click and go into your vellum solver. In here, this is something cool that you can do. You can add a bunch of pop forces. So just like in your DOP network, if I type pop, there's all the pop forces in here that you can add onto your grains, which is great. And the one we're going to use is pop awake. Because we put them to sleep, they're sleeping, having a good rest, use the pop awake. In here, it's going to say, hey, you can wake me up with a volume. And you just I navigated, I found that VDB that we were talking about from the box that I created. You can create the volume threshold, basically where it's going to hit, and you can turn on awaken near particles. So if I turn this on, now what's going to happen is when these start to be awakened, it's going to wake up all the ones next to it. And of course, you could turn down the wake up scale. So we'd say, hey, maybe we're just going to have it wake up all of it right when it touches. Or we can say the threshold's a little bit higher. So it's like, I'm going to only awaken some of the things, but keep most of it. And that works too, which is great. So we could even keep that one on. I actually think that was a good addition I just made. But you can see that now we have these particles that are only being affected, that are being touched by the volume. And we go back up a level. And I also had the main box plugged into the collisions, just so it's colliding and then it's awakening them. So when you put all the pieces together, there you go. You now have a way to do this without having to write a bunch of code. So where can we use this? Well, this can be really helpful if you have, I've seen people doing characters crawling in sand, or you have an animal walking in sand. You would take your animation and you turn it into a VDB for collisions, or for the awakening, for it to awaken. So put them to sleep, and then they can be awakened on the force that you put into the vellum grains. One last tip is when you want to render these out, there's different ways of doing it. In Houdini, you can just do like grains or particles or whatever. But I thought this would be nice to show you guys something else you can do. So you also can do, always do this as well. Attribute random, see how the particles are different sizes. Super easy. This isn't anything crazy. Just type in the attribute name p scale And then you will also change the global scale, which is overall how big it is, and then the minute and max value, and you'll get the smaller particles and the larger ones in there for you. So that's how you do that. And then you can rasterize this as a volume. So now you can turning into like a cloud. And then I do like a little smooth, and then I convert the VDB to polygons. So this is one way to do it. If you want to just kind of mesh, turn it into like a mesh version of it. The other thing you can do, my remesh did not work, but the other thing you can do is do a fluid surface. It just depends on the look you want. So the fluid surface, when I did it, you know, I would have to play with this a lot more. It wasn't giving me the exact result that I wanted. So I ended up kind of abandoning that idea and just going with this. Now, what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to be exporting this out as an Alembic. So I would do an output ROP. There we go. Plug this in. Going to ask me where. Make sure you turn on your frame range, choose name, and render it out. And what we're going to get from that is a nice baked out animation. I've been enjoying actually doing a lot of my rendering and lighting in Blender. And so I've been exporting a lot of stuff out of Blender and bringing it in. So it just says that an Alembic, it's great, bring it over, and you can do everything in there that you want. Anyway, hopefully this is helpful, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.